You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
What's up, everybody? It's me, Rashan, aka Roro, and welcome to Podcast PXN episode 196. I'm one of your... Oh, I already said my name. I'm Rashan. Hi. And I'm joined over Discord by Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is ETM, Kentucky's #1 Spartan. How you doing today?
Doing well, Ro. Thank you.
Very good, very good. No problem. And Christian Macias also joins us, the video essayist and the host of Large Popcorn. Welcome to the show.
For the first time ever.
Glad to have you. Everybody, it's my first time hosting in, God alone knows, like months maybe. So bear with me as I ease myself back into it. But if you're watching here live, you can join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at Podcast PXN or twitch.tv/Podcast PXN as well. The topic of the show this week is the Nintendo Direct recap. But first, the show always starts off with the quick bites. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Steam, much needed Steam UI updates. Got a nice little overhaul. Much like that. Always nice when we get the new features, like how Xbox does a little updates as well. They say, hello, we shipped a big new update to Steam desktop client. New features include a completely redesigned in-game overlay, new notes, functionality, pinnable in-game windows, improvements to notifications, and so much more. And it looks pretty clean. I don't know how the general public feels about it, though I'm not on Steam very much, but I think it looks pretty cool. I like how the store looks when I went on for Steam Next Fest, so looks good.
The pinnable notes are super cool. I like those. Like where you can pin the notes over top of your game. That's really useful.
Yeah. I saw them doing that for Hollow Knight.
I just updated Steam today, I think. So
yeah, well, you're in for a new layout. It caught me off guard at first, but it grew on me pretty quickly. Next quick bite. CD Projekt Red has moved away from crunch, according to the director of Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty expansion, Gabe Amatangello. Speaking with Bloomberg, Amatangello said CD Projekt has lived up to its promise not to force employees to crunch. Quote, fortunately, it's been a very healthy work-life balance right now. Something that was backed up by lower-level staff members. This is a quote from Emma Tengello when speaking to Bloomberg. Emma Tengello is also set to direct the full sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, codenamed Orion, and the lack of crunching for Phantom Liberty bodes well for the developers who will be working on it. Only time will tell whether CD Projekt Red lives up to the promise in the long term. So obviously they haven't released a big game since Cyberpunk 2077. They're working on the DLC now, but who's to say that they don't pick up crunch when the next CD Projekt Red huge titles happen? So, but this is good for now. That's good.
Or maybe they just don't. Maybe they just will never crunch again.
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be preferable for the employees, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Man, hold on, real quick before you go to the next item. I was like lost in my own thing, being like, where do I go to follow along with this show? Forgetting like. All I have to do is open up Google Drive. It's right there. I just legit, I forgot. So now I'm following along with the document.
There we go. Our next story is the Tilu haunted house that's going to be opening up at Universal. It's something I love. Tilu, love The Last of Us. Would not be caught dead in this thing. Naughty Dog and PlayStation's The Last of Us is coming to Universal Studios as a part of Halloween Horror Nights, beginning September 1st at Universal Orlando Resort. And have a little blurb here of what the haunted houses are supposed to be like, or how they describe it. The Last of Us haunted houses on both coasts will propel guests into a world of carnage and mayhem as they follow in the footsteps of game's protagonists Joel and Ellie, who endure a brutal journey in the world overtaken by a fungal virus that turns humans into various forms of a new threat known as infected. As guests encounter the infected, runners, stalkers, and clickers, along with hunters, a band of hostile humans, they will need to navigate the Pittsburgh quarantine zone, including iconic locations from the video game such as Creepy, Desolate, the Hotel Grand, and the labyrinth of dark and tank tunnels in a desperate attempt to escape and survive. Oof. That sounds pretty creepy. Very immersive.
Scary.
I would love to see what it's like, but I don't know if I would be brave enough to actually do it.
Keurig,
I saw this. Oh, go ahead. What did Keurig say?
Keurig, thank you for joining us. He said Steam update is nice. Makes it feel like the deck. Okay, thanks.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, uniformity across devices.
Moving into our next quick bite, XQC signed a 100 million deal with Twitch rival Kick. It's also not an exclusive deal, so he can stream on Twitch if he pleases. Yeah, it's crazy to see. I think Kick also swiped or made another deal with another Twitch streamer. Armorath, I think is her name. She's she has like red hair. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the top streamers, but it's crazy that they're picking up a lot of Twitch talent and just signing with them. Obviously, giving Twitch a little bit more competition. Not really a fan of Kick just because of Aiden Ross, really, and his whole thing. But it's cool to see competition. I guess that's the very least I can get from this story.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Okay, well, yeah, I was reading on this as well, and also he's getting a lot of backlash from even from his own like circles of streamers. It's not 100 million; it's 70. It can reach 100 with incentives, and he will most likely not see this over time. And it's also not all like liquid money. It's some of it is like in equity. So it's not a cash deal. And there was another bit as well that I found kind of amusing. It's escaping me, but I did see that he already got in trouble twice. The first time was when he was streaming The Dark Knight, and they're like, "Hey, you can't do this. That's against our terms of service." He's like, "Okay," and then he I think this morning or last night he was watching Breaking Bad, which is also against terms of service. But
learned his lesson.
Just an insane platform over there.
Oh my god, he's like, "Oh, I'm not allowed to watch Christopher Nolan movies. Got it, but I can watch Breaking Bad, of course, right?" Oh my god.
Like, how does Kick even have this kind of money already? Like, I guess they have some good financial backers. Like, obviously, he says not cash.
They don't have that, but they're like valued higher, so they have like it's all made up, dude. It's all made up. Here's this much in equity, so it's like this is how much it's worth or whatever, and like, I don't know, is XQC going to actually see that much money? Probably not.
Moving into our next quick bite, Chad Skalinsky. Did I say that correctly? Skalinsky? Yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Chad Skalinsky.
Stahelski. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Okay. Chad Stahelski says the upcoming Ghost of Tsushima film may be expanded into sequels and TV spin-offs. Speaking with comicbooksmovie.com, Stahelski discussed how you transfer the story of a video game that's dozens of hours long into film, and teased that Sony is perhaps thinking about more than a single bout on the silver screen. Quote, "The trick is not do we have great material, we know we have great material. It's how we make it palpable in any form, how do we make a great 2.5 hour movie out of this? How do we make it satisfying and leave it open to expand further from there? That's the real challenge. How to take so much great and get it down to a watchable level."
Let us
go for it.
Let us not forget Chad Stahelski is one of the goats of stuntmen and action choreography, turned movie director with the John Wick series. Yes. One of the critical, who doesn't know John Wick?
Yeah.
So it's in good hands. But what were we going to say about Jin Sakai?
I was just going to finish what he was saying about the story and how he's excited to do it. He says, also, Ghost of Tsushima, the movie, is now in heavy development, so there's probably still a ways to go until we actually see it. But he said Jin's transition from honorable samurai to disgraced Ghost of Tsushima, balancing his own pride with the survival of his people, is so interesting. So Stelhensky said the character in the story are definitely something I don't want to lose in any way. He also continued to say it's just the visuals that I want to keep. So he obviously made a mistake there, but he wants to keep the characters, he wants to keep the story, he wants to keep the visuals. He's very much animated about doing a good job with this. But Christian, I saw you give us a thumbs down with the TV and the perhaps expanded universe of Ghost of Tsushima.
Listen, anytime I see any kind of we're gonna expand this into a universe that people can consume, I'm already tuning all this stuff because we haven't even seen the base product of what that looks like. Let me see the thing first before we start making a whole universe out of it. Would it be cool? Maybe. I don't know who would be running a whole like TV spinoff or any kind of sequels. Like if it's Chad, then maybe I could be interested. But as of right now, I don't have that information. That's not anything that kind of excites me. Sorry, I'm getting some pain.
Oh,
the GCU.
The Ghost Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
No more CUs anything.
Enough CUs.
More like PUs.
Kirk in the chat said he also picked up his Asus ROG Ally today. Still have to crack it open.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
So Kirk, you have a Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally? That's crazy.
Damn.
That's some serious mobile gaming, dude.
Moving on to our next quick bite. Assassin's Creed's Mirage map won't be anywhere near as big as Valhalla's or Odyssey's, instead coming in closer to Unity's Paris or Revelation's Constable. Wait, is that correct? Thank you. Constantinople?
Yes.
Constantinople. Thank you. Speaking with Easy Allies, a Ubisoft spokesperson explained that this year's Assassin's Creed will not be revisiting its stealth origins, but also returning to the series' roots in terms of map size. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing for most Assassin's Creed people.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, the maps were way too big. Valhalla, massive. Odyssey, massive. Like, I loved Odyssey, don't get me wrong, but my God, you can't explore even a fifth of that map. It's absurd.
Almost too much to explore.
Yeah. So this is awesome. I'm very happy about this.
Moving in to our next quick bite, EA Sports and EA Games are splitting apart in an internal shakeup. I'm trying to get my notes up again. Sorry. There we go. Announcing today in a message from CEO Andrew Wilson that it is realigning its major studios and its leadership structure in effort to, quote, empower our creative teams. The reorganization includes splitting EA Games and EA Sports, with the former being renamed EA Entertainment in a signal that EA intends to expand beyond games where possible. Quote, we are building the future of interactive entertainment on a foundation of legendary franchises and innovative and new experiences, which represents massive opportunities for growth, Wilson wrote in a message announcing the news. Laura Millet, previously EA's chief operating officer, will take over the EA president of Entertainment Technology and Central Development at EA Entertainment, where she will work closely with Vince Zampella and other well-known executives. Cam Weber, who's rose out of EA Football Games, will continue to lead EA Sports. While dramatic on the face of it, much of the current state will remain intact, with Zampella continuing to lead Respawn and Battlefield. Samantha Ryan will likewise continue to charge BioWare, Maxis, Full Circle, and Motive Studios. I guess the big thing is EA Sports and EA Entertainment splitting, with EA Sports being the biggest profit driver for EA.
Yeah, those games sell well, but like I think when most people were thinking of, when we're thinking of like what EA has been offering in recent, it's actually the like single player games that I think come to mind for me. With more complaints being on like, is the sports games, are they being iterative enough? People are still buying them, of course. Like it's the article says like FIFA made an insane amount of money, as they always do. I think for me, this organization kind of split is going to be interesting to see if like they're able to juggle those different divisions separately to like really focus on each strength of the, like, let the sports stuff improve over time, and let the single player side, I guess, the EA, what was it, EA Entertainment do what they've been doing best these last 5-6 years. So this could be cool. This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, agreed. You know what else looks interesting? Our favorite MPS, Mage Persian Shooter, is moving to August release date. And if you were confused by what a Mage Persian Shooter is, it's that Immortals of Avium game that we have seen at Summer Games Fest. Originally slated to release in July, Immortals has been pushed back about a month to August 22nd. This follows the Ascendant Studios calling inspiring reactions at the PlayStation Showcase and Summer Games Fest. Quote, as you know, this is our first game and as a self-funded independent studio, the studio wrote in a blog post. We set out 5 years ago to ambitiously make an original Magic FPS in a new fantasy world. Along the way, we worked through the pandemic, built a new team, developed on Unreal Engine 5.1, and pushed the boundaries of what we thought possible. Now, the finish line is in sight. Ascendant Studios says that the delay is the reaction to feedback from the recent previews, which is being undertaken in order to, quote, realize the full vision. This will give us time to further polish the game, finish optimizing all platforms, and deliver a strong launch. We owe it to ourselves and to you to get this right, the studio wrote. Hell yeah.
Interesting. It's interesting that they say that the delays in reaction to recent feedback of previews, and this is happening to realize their full vision, but it's only a month delay. So
how much they can change there, dude?
Yeah.
And like you're saying, how much can they change? Ryan McCaffrey had a little tidbit to add there. Tough spot for Immortals AVM devs. I applaud them for taking the extra time to polish their game, but the July release date they had was so perfect for an unnamed game like this in a stacked year. Pushing to August might make it tougher to get noticed. And if they're not really making a big change, they kind of may have just shot themselves in the foot by moving it to a more busier time, I guess.
Yeah, August is when you have games like Armored Core coming out, and I think July, there's not any huge titles. Like I in my head, I had set aside July to be my, okay, I'm gonna work through Final Fantasy. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lull there. Yeah, I'm even looking at the July release date. It's, Exo Primal, Viewfinder, Ratchet and Clank comes to PC. Yeah, this could have been maybe a good spot for, like, if you're looking for something new, maybe this brand new AAA game, or I guess AA. AA game could be have its own time to shine, but yeah, in August, not so much.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do make something cool. I mean, like they said, it's their first game as an independent studio, so I wish them the best. But yeah, maybe it's not
same week as Armored Core, man.
Yeah,
good luck.
Probably not a
good
plan. And our last quick bite here: Bungie plagiarizing community artwork. No bueno, says Dan. This is Julian Faliona as the artist of the original work. He said, I'm not sure their pronouns, so they just said, I just realized Bungie took inspiration from my piece for this week's cutscene. Certainly took me by surprise when I watched the cutscene. And yeah, if you look by it, it's definitely uncanny for sure. Like, even the background of the art is very similar to their background. Obviously, the focus is the Veil character. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much the art.
Inspiration. It's direct ripoff. Which I like. People in the replies are saying, like, technically Bungie can get away with it. Like, they own the IP. Even if you just draw like stuff in there, within, I guess, the IP, like, Bungie can just use it free will. That's not to say it's not messed up, man.
Yeah.
Especially in a climate where, like, artists have been, like, in any industry, been getting just like the shit end of the stick, underpaid, overworked. You look at Marvel and they have an AI opening. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Bungie using like not even a credit anywhere. Kind of disgusting.
Yeah. And the unfortunate part is, like, this person would have probably loved to just gotten like a DM or something from Bungie and them saying, hey, is it cool for us to use this in our new trailer? Like, we will give you credit in the credits as well. Like, they would have loved that. I doubt that they would have, like, said no or demanded anything. Like, I don't understand why they didn't do that. That's and I don't know who made this, obviously, but they maybe they're receiving some internal scrutiny from Bungie, whoever was the one who actually, like, concepted this and everything inside of Bungie.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, they could have. Who knows if they, like, pass it off as their own thing without saying, like, oh, I saw this really cool piece, I'm going to use it as quote unquote inspiration. When in fact they're trying to play it off as it's their own. But it kind of sucks because that trailer that cutscene was really cool, and it gave answers to a lot of the stuff that we were hoping to see in Lightfall. Kind of just marred with this plagiarism story, which kind of sucks.
I mean,
yeah.
what a time to drop that cutscene too, in the middle of a lot of fan complaints as well
Yeah.
about monetization.
Yeah. The timing was, yeah. And that's it for Quick Bites, but we've got a street meet story here. Marathon details, new marathon details, by the way, of Tom Henderson at Inside Gaming. I believe this is from like the Oxygen stuff, right, Dan? I don't know if that was known before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've got some new details on the kind of the gameplay loop of Marathon. Reading from Inside Gaming here, one of the biggest and potentially controversial features within the game is an oxygen system. All players have a limited oxygen supply that essentially acts like a match countdown timer. Once the player loses oxygen, you begin to lose health. Extracting before you run out of oxygen and health is the goal, but players can also find O2 canisters in the match or subsequently buy them at an expensive price on the market heading into battle. The oxygen system also ties into the injury system of Marathon, which certain injuries causing the player to suffer different effects. For example, being shot in the waist area may cause damage to your oxygen supply, which will cause you to deplete more rapidly. Another example given was being concussed, which would cause the player's screen to blur periodically. They also go on to say the core gameplay loop of Marathon is as follows. Choose your mission to complete in the game. Buy/choose your loadout, perks, abilities, and gear. Drop into a server, hunt for loot, complete missions, explore and find secrets, extract, spend XP on updates, repeat. Yeah. Dan, do you have anything to add?
Dan, let me go first.
Sure.
Okay, Christian.
The Tarkov inspiration continues with Marathon in a much similar way. Dan, have you played Tarkov?
I have not, no.
But you know how it works, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
when you get shot in certain places, you'll bleed out heavier or not as heavy, and you got to use different bandages to, according to your injury. That stuff is so cool, and seeing this transfer over to what I'd call a more accessible game, because like it'll be multi-platform, it'll be on more platforms, right? For it to be like an established IP already from a big developer like Bungie, for it to have inspirations that are like nearing this hardcore level of Tarkov, I think is exciting for an extraction shooter, because for my main issue, despite how fun DMZ was, it was still felt like too Tarkov light, where I didn't feel enough engagement. It sure was like at some points it felt almost like Warzone, with just having little missions to do inside of Warzone. For this to be just a bit more leaning into that kind of extraction shooter kind of space, I think is going to be exciting for a lot of people who are wanting to get into a new kind of FPS, and this could be it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And like they've definitely got to strike the right balance, right? Because if they lean too much into Tarkov, then you're gonna start to push off that casual fan base. But like you're saying, like this does like take it a step above like what DMZ's doing. Like I really like the ability to like shoot certain sections of the canister to like leak some of their oxygen. That sounds so cool. And like the gameplay mechanics behind that could be really, really fascinating. The only sentence that worried me here when Ro was reading, and of course I read this earlier, was them saying subsequently they can buy them at an expensive price on the market before heading into battle, referring to the O2 canisters. So I'm hoping they're not referring to them being like purchasable like with real money, because then that's when you turn into a game being
Bungie.
Yeah, I know, but like it's never been anything gameplay mechanic related. So I would hope that they wouldn't go down that route. Maybe they just mean like an in-game store currency, like in-game like world currency. If
Like
that
how you
makes
can
sense.
buy loadouts, I guess, in Call of Duty. Or something.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's what it means, and not like microtransactions for that part of the game.
But you know how you could buy this with in-game currency if you just play the normal game for free, but it's going to be kind of a grind. You know, it'd be a lot easier if you just bought them here or with a season pass to get extra tiers. All of
Oh,
a
no.
sudden, we're back to that model.
And it could be. They haven't said if this is free to play or not. And if it's free to play, obviously they're going to monetize something.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I guess we'll see. We'll see when they announce that, I guess. But yeah, I'm very fascinated by the oxygen system. I like that. I think that's very cool.
Here's hoping Marathon is cool. The trailer was dope, so hopefully they land it. No funny business, Bungie, with the monetization, please.
Yes.
Moving into the PXN news of the week, we got some Xbox news for everybody. Tom Warren, or I don't think Tom Warren did the interview. He has an excerpt from the interview. This was from The Guardian, and Keith Stewart did the write-up. But Tom Warren on Twitter says, Xbox chief, well, let me read the headline for the story first. Phil Spencer says the Xbox business is twice the size of the 360 generation. Xbox Phil Spencer says the Xbox business is twice the size of Xbox generation in terms of revenue and millions of consoles ahead of where we would have been compared to the 360. We've never had more Xbox players than we have right now. In the same article, I thought it would be cool to point out, he also made a correction to his comments on Kinda Funny, where he said the infamous thing that everybody took out of context, that great games won't help Xbox. But he made a little bit of a slight adjustment to that, and he said, the part that I don't like about what I said was quality games is critically important to our strategy. So it's not that Starfield getting an 11 out of 10 isn't our goal, although that's silly. Although that's a silly way of putting it. I don't know if I'm going to use review scores as a mark of all quality. But making the best Starfield is absolutely our goal. I want to build the absolute best games we can. But yeah, Xbox twice as big as Xbox 360, which I assume that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more gamers now. But,
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense too. It's been a growing industry, despite what they said after the Wii generation being like, oh, the next consoles are the last ones. Here we are, and it's like, I think it's comparable to like the movie industry and how much like revenue video games are making. Yeah, especially like after COVID too. Like a lot of people were picking up PCs and Switches, and then you got the release of the new consoles. Like there's a lot of gamers out there, so it makes sense that the business is growing, especially when you have like a business as big as Microsoft and Xbox with Game Pass and growing that library. You're gonna need like a lot bigger division. So yeah, this makes total sense.
And the other interesting part is they're comparing to Xbox 360 here, not Xbox One, and I suspect that's because the numbers are fairly similar to Xbox One, because Xbox One outsold 360 for a very long time, or not a very long, the first few years as well, because you get into this position where you have the people that are going to buy an Xbox no matter what, that are transitioning each year. So your first few years are those players that you already have them in. Essentially the key parts of your console are the middle and the end of the generation, when you're getting all these new players, and you can't get those new players, of course, without great games to convince people to buy the console. So that, I think that's the more interesting thing to see where we end up at the end, whereas where we're at now. But yeah,
Good point.
Something that is coming to an end. Xbox One games on no more first party Xbox One games on Xbox. Sorry, no more. Microsoft says it's no longer making Xbox One games. It's all about Xbox Series X from now on. This is from Tom Warren on The Verge.
Good.
And he says Microsoft has moved on from Xbox One, is no longer creating first-party games for its previous generation of consoles. Quote, we've moved on to Gen 9, says Xbox Studio Chief Matt Booty, referring to the Xbox Series S and X generation in an interview with Axios. While Microsoft will still support Xbox One hardware and games like Minecraft running on the previous generation, no internal studios are working on new games for Xbox One anymore. Microsoft has been slowly pushing to this point, using Xbox Cloud Gaming to offer up games like Microsoft Flight Simulator to existing Xbox One users. Microsoft's recent Xbox Game Showcase didn't contain any first-party games that will run on Xbox One natively, and Booty says the company will continue to leverage its Xbox Cloud Gaming infrastructure to offer the latest games to Xbox One users. Quote, that's how we're going to maintain support, says Booty. Good. Absolutely. Yeah, it's good that they have those avenues for people that are still there, but it's also good that they're not wasting time developing for an older console
Yeah.
as well.
Agreed.
Well, 3 years in, and you have, and then I know there's like debate online whether or not you still want to call it the world's most powerful console, but still, like, that was the marketing for the Xbox X Series X, right? So if you're gonna tout marketing that way, I think it's time we start moving away from Xbox One games and start utilizing as much power as we can of these newer hardwares, now almost 3 years old.
And like Matt Booty said, like the cloud infrastructure allows them to stream whatever games to Xbox One. So if no one's ready to upgrade, can still play.
And our final Xbox news story here is Xbox Series X pricing increase in certain markets to match PS5 Game Pass prices are also increasing. Microsoft is increasing its Xbox Series S prices in most countries in August, apart from US, Japan, Chile, Brazil, and Colombia. The Xbox maker is also increasing the monthly prices of its Xbox Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions for the first time next month, which will see the base Game Pass subscription for console move up to $10.99, which it was originally $9.99. Quote, we've held our prices for consoles for many years and have adjusted the prices to reflect the competitive conditions in each market, says Kerry Perez, head of communications for Xbox, in a statement to The Verge. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass for console pricing will increase starting July 6th. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate will move from $14.99 to $16.99. The Xbox Game Pass for console pricing, I already said that, $9.99 to $10.99, and the PC Game Pass pricing will not be changing though.
Oh, thank God!
Yes, I know.
I can't wait to keep paying for a subscription I don't use.
At least it's not getting more expensive.
Yeah, I'll use it for Starfield.
That is interesting though that they're not increasing PC Game Pass. I suspect because they don't have great market share there, so they're trying to still get some of that market share away from like Steam, of course, which I don't think they'll ever do. But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, obviously the price increase, I think it's warranted. Obviously, with it's 2017 they instituted these prices, so it's not surprising that we're going up $2 and $1. So I don't think it's terrible. I think that's still a great deal, great value for what we get out of Game Pass. It will be interesting to see if their friends and family plan increases, because it hasn't even been released yet, but the rumors were at $25, so that might get a little bit of an increase as well. But yeah, it's very sad because I've already lost one of my predictions for 2023 right there with this announcement.
Gosh darn it, Matt Booty.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the console increase?
I think it's interesting because, like, obviously they're matching PS5 in those markets that they're increasing it, but I don't think that that's smart for them because they're behind in those markets. Like in the US, I feel like they're somewhat close to Sony. They're still behind by a decent margin, but they're at least somewhat competitive in the US, whereas almost every other market in the world they're behind in. So I feel like the price being lower than the PS5 was maybe helping them, but if you put it at the same price, I don't know that that's going to help you gain market share for those people.
There we have it.
They must have been operating at a loss, like a severe loss for
True.
a long time, that I just figured maybe not sustainable. I don't know.
And Sony thought the same thing, obviously, because they increased in the same market. So maybe the cost of those components just went up so much that it just wasn't feasible.
That makes sense. Yeah. The recession's coming.
God. Gotta kill it. Kill chaos. Speaking of chaos, moving in to our fantasy. It is not even a good segue. I just said something and said, speaking of it.
But no, it makes sense because I understood the reference to what you were.
True. Moving into a fantasy draft check-in. We've got some new pickups, but first, Final Fantasy 16 reviews have released, and it's sitting at a mighty Open Critic rating 90% critic average, 95% critics recommend. So I believe that was whose pickup was that? That was Christian's pickup, right?
Right here.
Yes. So you're looking at 20 points.
Yeah.
For this? Yes. So if it doesn't go down, hopefully it goes up.
90.
Christian's looking at 20 more points to add to his.
Was there ever any doubt, my guy? Come
There
on,
wasn't.
get out of
There
here.
wasn't.
Wait,
I'm so excited for this fucking game. Tonight comes out tonight.
Who's in first?
Huh?
Christian? Who's in first?
Doesn't matter,
I'm
man.
just
Let me
kidding.
have my day.
No, I'm kidding. You're fucking killing it. All of the games that have come out, you've only had 3 games come out, and you already have 1 million points.
That's
a,
true.
a million.
All right, I exaggerated a little bit, but
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Although I worry, I still have Silksong on there, and pretty dry news on Silksong this year.
Yeah, as Dan was saying, you only have 3 games and you're at 43 points. Soon to go up with Final Fantasy, so that could be 53 points. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games out, and I have 56 points. So
that's
yeah, that's a really good list because you have a bunch of other games to still come out and add to that. But speaking of other games that are coming, we made some pickups. And I believe I picked up Sonic Superstars, of course, and Cookie Cutter, which is a cool Metroidvania 2D art style sort of game. Daniel picked up Persona 5 Tactica and City Skylines 2. Was that there before?
it was not.
Okay, and City Skylines. There we go. Those are bound to be pretty good ones too.
Dude, the rest of you, hold on real quick. The rest of Dan's, no, go ahead, and then you say it.
And Christian picked up Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Like, I keep looking at what games I'm picking up, and then I scroll down to Dan's. It's like, no matter what I get, there's no competing with this. Like, Diablo 4, RE4 Remake, great games, right? He still has Forza to come out, Alan Wake 2, AC Mirage, Mortal Kombat 1.
Damn. He did make a risky bet, though.
I did.
He did make a counter pick against Elden Ring Shadow of the the Erd Tree. But again, like you said, Christian, I don't know if that's going to hurt him that much because of all the stacked games that he already has on his list. But if that game does come out, that's definitely going to be negative points for you.
That'll hurt bad.
And we have to do 2 counter picks this year, and I still don't have a single one because I don't want to counterpick any of these. They're all good titles, man.
You have to guess what's not going to come out. That's pretty much what it's coming down to. Yeah.
All right. We're here. We made it to what you got for me. Daniel, what you got for me?
Yes, I've played some more Diablo 4. Still cranking on that. Still a great game. Still enjoying it.
Cranking on it, huh?
Oh yeah, cranking on it. Going to all those little blue exclamation points to get all those side quests and pissing off Gage every time he plays with me. But no, finally got my mount in that game, and my god, it's so much better once you get your mount in Diablo 4 because it was starting to get painful to have to trek across like a map to go to a side quest or a main objective or whatever when you haven't unlocked a fast travel point yet. I've literally only unlocked like a fifth of the map thus far, kind of like what I'm fucking stuck at in Tears of the Kingdom as well. But anyway, still very much enjoying it. Also, Halo Infinite Season 4 came out yesterday. I've already played a fucking shitload of it yesterday. I played much later last night than I should have, and I'm very tired this morning. I was very tired to get up this morning, but yeah, I absolutely love it. The infection in this game is fantastic. It's the best that it's been in a long time for infection. It's really cool too. Like, I like the little subtle jabs. So typically in Halo multiplayer, I'll just explain this for anyone at home that's never played or whatever. You have your announcer. So Jeff Steitzer, he's the dude who does the multiplayer voice announcer that does like the double kill, triple kill, all that. So he has
triple penetration.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So yeah, that's exactly what he says. Uncanny. That's Jeff Steitzer right there. Yeah. But anyways, so he's normally doing the voices for that. In Infection, it's the Banished AI that is, which Banished are the bad guys in this game. that are taking over your Spartan, and they're the ones talking throughout the multiplayer match instead of Jeff Steitzer. But then at the end of the match, Jeff Steitzer has this like really cool banter with the banished AI, and he literally says stuff like, "This was my job," like in just the perfect tone and voice, like, "I don't have a job now," or like just crazy comments towards him. And I fucking love that shit. It's so funny. And yes, Woody, and I love it. But yeah, having a ton of fun with it. The best season of Halo Infinite thus far.
I actually have a Halo story.
Oh,
A Halo Infinite Season 4 story to tell you. Man, last night I woke up at like 5 a.m. to use the restroom, something crazy, you know? And I always like scroll up on my phone when I'm checking the time. And I have it set to do not disturb, and I'm like, let me check my notifications, see who's messaged me. And I see like an insane thread on Twitter. I just see Daniel and Gage just going at it about Halo in the middle of the night. Just let them get back to it. And that's my Season 4 Halo Infinite story.
you're welcome for that. You're welcome for that.
Christian, do you got anything else for us?
You can go first. You can go in order.
I will go next then. I have been playing quite a few games, not for any long amount of time, but I've dipped my toes in Valkyria Chronicles, which is a strategy real-time game, which has been on my list for quite a long time. So I'm glad that I'm finally getting around to it. I got it on the Switch, and I'm liking it so far. It's like Fire Emblem, but when you move the chess pieces, it goes into like a real-time situation where you have to get behind cover, make sure you're not dying. So there's an even more tense situation than Fire Emblem even poses. So that's been pretty cool. I like the art style, and the story is pretty good so far. But besides that, I have played some Steam Next Fest games. I have a huge list, but I've only gotten a chance to play 2. The first of which is Urbano Legends Debut, which is, if you just look at this game, you're like, this is Rashan's type of shit. But basically, you are this guy hunting or hanging out with your friends during the day and hunting urban legends at night. And it has this really cool art style. And the battles are done through like these rhythm-based games. So you're dodging the attacks based on the rhythm, and you move closer, and then you attack. The demo is really cool. It's very funny writing. So definitely a good thing to have when it's not voice acted and a visual novel stuff. So that one was really fun as well. And the other one, which has been on my list for a long time, Goodbye Volcano High. Finally got to try this game, and again, definitely my shit. Definitely getting some Life is Strange vibes mixed with some Saturday morning cartoons with just a little bit more angst though. Like there's definitely some teenage angst in there. It's about obviously dinosaurs. The end of the world is potentially coming. They don't know for sure yet, but obviously us humans, we know that yes, the asteroid does hit. So they're struggling with their life in school while also managing the incoming apocalypse and all the drama that comes with that. When I was playing, the main character receives a text from a random number, and it says "I love you," and all that drama. It's like because the world's ending, but you don't know who the text message is from. And there's just a bunch of other drama that goes along with it. But yeah, I'm loving the art style for that. Can't wait for that to fully come out as well. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Very cool. I have been waiting for Goodbye Volcano High for a long time. And somehow I convinced myself that it was coming next year, but I think it's coming later this year.
I think it is. At least I hope it is. I had to stop myself because it's not one of those games that, the progress carries over, and I was like, okay, I like this. I should just stop playing it now.
I found it, yeah. So it was originally going to come out in the summer. They pushed it to August 29th. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought they pushed it to 2024, but yeah, later this year.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Glenn, sorry, I missed your comment before. Those were prices in America. Canada is $18.99 for Game Pass Ultimate and $12.99 for normal Game Pass.
There we go. Now, Christian, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I got to give you my Tears of the Kingdom update. I'm kissing 90 hours. A lot of stuff I've done in that game. I'm on my final regional phenomena, but I have more to go after I know. I think I found the start of the quest for the Master Sword, and I was like, I'm saving this until after the regional phenomena. I'm done with those. I'll say, I've had like the perfect rollout of a game. Like I was lucky enough to stumble across like when I found my first dragon tier, like those cutscenes or whatever. It was like number one. It's like the very first. It's like the start of that quest to like go across all the like the zonai markings on the ground or whatever, and watch the cutscenes. So I've been having the perfect rollout of like, I'm gonna go do this regional phenomena, and then I'll go and look for 3 more dragon tiers and catch up more of the story. So it's been a perfect like back and forth, and I've made it so like the final dragon tier happens after my last regional phenomena.
Nice.
And it's like, this is gonna be great. Like if it gives me a hint on where to go for the Master Sword, then I'll know I'm on the right track, and if not, then I can go do this quest and find out if it was actually the quest to actually do it or not. But I'm pretty sure it is. So I was like, nope, I've been saving this for later, and I'm at a point where I'm feeling close to being wrapped up. Like as far as quests go, I've done the side quests that I wanted to do, and the only thing I have left to do after is go to a few more areas I have left to explore. I mean, everything's uncovered on my map, but there are a few places that I marked that I wanted to go back to, and then I want to finish all the shrines. I'm at 100, and there are 152, I think.
Nice.
So.
Jesus.
Yeah, I probably am not going to finish this game
Anytime
before
soon.
Final Fantasy comes out tonight.
Right.
But no, I am planning on
You're
beating
close.
it soon.
Yeah.
So I think by the end of June, which is by the end of next week, I'll be wrapping up Zelda. So
Hell yeah.
which would give me time for Final Fantasy 16. Last week I said that I was going to play the demo, or that I downloaded the demo, that I wanted to play it. And yeah, this weekend I played it, and I was supposed to start it like Friday after work, like after my run or whatever, to like into my evening. I started it kind of late, dude. It was like 11:30. And once I started it, dude, I was so enthralled with this that it was like like what 2:30, and I was wrapping it up. And when I wrapped it up, I was like, yeah, this may have been the best demo I've ever played. Like it was
Wow.
what a transformative experience that Final Fantasy 16 demo was. Like everything from the production value to the gameplay to the like, what a perfect endpoint for the story. I was so in that I was VMing my friends in Europe, like, who are awake, being like, holy shit, I got to see this, and this, and like I want to be playing the game already. It got to the point where I wanted to finish Zelda like that weekend so I could be ready for Final Fantasy 16. And look, it's that good. The active time lore on that shit was cool. Like I didn't know what was going on in the beginning, so I just hit the touchpad and I was like, cool, I'm reading about the families and the like structures, the ongoing politics of this world of Valisthea. And I'm like, cool, now I'm situated. Let's go back to this cutscene. It's like flawlessly.
So cool.
The combat, dude. It scratches like the G spot of my like gamer brain, where like when you perfect dodge, you can counterattack, and it does like a small like kind of slow motion thing. It's so good, dude. Like I'm not surprised this game has a 90 open critic. It's a banger title, and I'm really excited to see where the story goes because I was invested in that demo.
I've heard it goes places. I've heard good things.
Christian, I need you to set me down the right path, okay? I have Diablo 4, Tears of the Kingdom, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, all unfinished. Should I play Final
Shouldn't start
Fantasy
another
16?
You should not start FF16, but you should play that fucking demo, dude. It was so cool. There's a part in the beginning where like I won't spoil it, but like it's a pretty big action set piece. It's like, oh my god, I'm playing this. I didn't realize, and like you start playing it, and it's like epic, and then like it like does like this cool what you think is like a climax, and it's a match cut. So like this huge like ball of fire like fades into like Clive's eye, the main character's eye, who is staring at a campfire, and it zooms out, and it's like the soldiers around Clive, and it's like, all right, get up, it's time to go. And we just start oh, dude, it's so fucking cool, man.
Really cool.
I'm afraid I'm not.
They're cooking up some heat in this game, dude.
I'm afraid I'm gonna not resist it if I play the demo. So
I'm afraid this might be my game of the year, dude. And I've played 2.5 hours. It can't be that good.
There we have it. Final Fantasy 16, greatest game of all time.
Wow.
Potentially.
Potentially. So is Tears of the Kingdom, though. Let's be real.
It's true.
Bangers this year.
Yeah, second half of this year is pretty stacked, I gotta say.
Speaking of stacked, the Nintendo Direct for today came. It went. And it was awesome.
I slept through it.
I like it. Yeah, it was at 10 a.m. Eastern time, which was, 7 your time?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's pretty early. But Nintendo came. They didn't care. And they delivered the hits for some people. But the first, we're going to go through it now. We're going to go through everything that was shown at the Nintendo Direct, the most important stuff. Maybe we'll skip over some of the farming simulators, but we'll go through the highlights here and talk about each one. The first of which is the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, and the other expansion, which was... Oh, that's what the expansion pass is called, but they're broken up into 2 parts, the Teal Mask and... the the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. And one of which is like a exchange student one. That's the second one, where you go to a different school to learn about their customs and what they do, as opposed to what you do in Paldea. And the first one is like a festival thing, and there's like mysterious Pokemon in the background as well. So there's some new legendary Pokemon to come along with this, some new story stuff, obviously some new Pokemon as well to catch that weren't in the base game. And that came along with the announcement of a new raid that is available right now.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Next thing that is for me, Sonic Superstars coming out fall 2023. We got a good look at the characters and the new abilities that we'll be able to use with the Chaos Emeralds, and a quick peek at one of the boss fights with Fang, and a confirmation that there's going to be 12 zones, which doesn't necessarily mean that there's 12 levels, because zones have acts, and acts are usually 2 acts. So there's possibility there's like 24 levels at the very least. So that's pretty awesome. I think Sonic Mania had 13 zones, and that was a pretty great game. So I'm happy about that. Are you guys, any of you planning to play Sonic Superstars?
Not at launch, I think. But the more I see this game, the more I'm like, first of all, I enjoyed like the different art style that they're approaching. I mean, there's 2 games that have, almost going back to the roots art style. We'll talk about the second one later. But this one's of the 2D games, I'm more excited for the one we're going to talk about later in topic of the show rather than this one. Mm-hmm. But something about it still looks pretty fun. Had it been online co-op, I think I would have been more open to like playing it with the lads. I think for it just being local, I think it's maybe not.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Thank you for reminding me. That was a bummer for sure. Was not happy when I saw that fly across the screen.
Superstars a full price game as well? Like, is it?
I think it's 40.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. US.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll have all these other games finished by then, but
well, hold on. Are you going to finish one game by Starfield?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Jedi Survivor?
That's the one I've played the least of.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You'll have the Season 4 Halo Infinite Battle Pass done.
Oh no, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's going to take a lot of time. Fuck.
Oh boy, why'd you remind him?
And the new progression system, which I didn't even talk about. Fuck.
Another thing that I want to add here to the Sonic story is that there's going to be a Sonic Central. I forgot to add that to Quick Bites. So a little Sonic Direct on Friday. Yes. So they might talk about the movie, might talk about a release date for Superstars. Maybe some other stuff there too. Very excited about that. The next one I'm sure we're going to skip over is Palia, a free-to-play adventure sim out this holiday. Cool that it's free to play. Kind of like these sort of games, but this one does not look like it's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one that Dan picked up on his Fantasy Critic today was Persona 5 Tactica, out November 17th. This looks like my kind of jam.
Yeah.
Because it's Persona.
10 out of 10. Best game ever.
The spin-off games have been pretty fun, so I have faith in this one.
Oh yeah.
Last week we couldn't remember the spin-offs. It was Strikers, Tactica, Phantom X, and then Dancing in Starlight.
Yes. I didn't remember the Phantom X one. Isn't that the mobile game? Is that the mobile game one?
Still a spinoff.
Yeah. Moving into the next one, Myth Force, out this year on the Switch. We've seen this one quite a few times. I think they always say it's like the Saturday morning cartoon come to life. It's multiplayer, pretty fun. Looks cool. Splatfest was also announced. Vanilla Strawberry versus Mint Chip, July 14th to the 16th. I'm going
Ugh.
vanilla. Pretty basic.
I'll do strawberry. Dan, you're mint chip. All right.
I don't
So we'll
like
see who-
mint chip.
We'll see
Me
who
either,
wins.
but that's what you got.
That's the cards you're dealt. And much awaited sequel to the 3DS game Detective Pikachu. You guessed it. Detective Pikachu 2 is on the way October 6th, 2023. And oh boy, does this look like a video game.
Dude, that picture, the screen grab, Wario 64 post, Tim Goodman wearing his iconic red hoodie.
Right.
I don't know who Tim Goodman is. I'm sorry.
You don't know Tim Goodness?
I didn't play Detective Pikachu DS.
Me neither. But I could not get over the voice of Pikachu. My God.
Wait,
What
is it bad? I wasn't listening to audio when
Oh.
I was watching this. Was it bad?
It's as off-putting as Ryan Reynolds' voice in
Oh,
the game. I feel like even more so.
Oh.
It's even deeper. And Ryan Reynolds' voice isn't that deep in the movie. It's a very different voice for Detective Pikachu, and yeah, it's a lot for me personally. It's like you expect Pika Pika to come out of his voice, and he's like, "I'm Pikachu, and I'm what you call a great detective," and I'm like, "Whoa, okay." But the next one, the one that a lot of fans were waiting for, rumored this Super NES remake. What was it going to be? Chrono Trigger. What was it going to be? No. It's Super Mario RPG in collaboration with Square Enix. Nintendo is remaking the RPG classic. And it looks pretty cool. I'm down for this.
I miss the old art style a little bit. Like, there are some shots from the SNES title that I think are visually a bit more striking and appealing to me. Like, I think the iconic shot with the castle in the background, I think is a good marker of that. However, I think for the most part, they kind of nailed most of the aesthetic and modernize it in a way that still honors the legacy of the original release of Super Mario RPG. So I still think it looks pretty. I'm not going to be a hater all the way. And if I had more time, I think I would have, because of all the RPG games of Mario games, Super Mario RPG is the one I haven't played. Of course, I played Paper Mario, and the Super Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is great. This one's a hole in my gamer library, so I think it would have been cool to experience. I don't have the time for it this fall, but I think it's great that it's actually coming back.
Agreed. Dan, are you interested in this one?
Probably
Not
not.
really.
Probably not so much this one because this is turn-based, right? Like
It is.
Yeah, I'm just not big on turn-based stuff. But
That's fair.
I'm happy for you guys, for everyone who loves this.
It releases, as Christian said, this fall, November 17th, 2023. Pre-orders begin today on the Nintendo eShop. They also teased a new Peach game for like 5 seconds and said,
Now we're talking.
"We're making one." But I'm down for a Peach game. The last one was on the freaking Nintendo DS, so it's cool that they're making another one for Peach to star in.
What is the gameplay like in that game?
No freaking clue.
Oh,
Dude.
okay.
I couldn't tell you. It looks like it's a side-scrolling game.
Like what was the
Oh,
other Peach game? Yeah.
The Peach one, yeah, that's a side-scrolling game too.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you like her power-ups were her emotions, I believe. I didn't get to play it
Just
myself, but yeah. Yeah. But it looks like it's another side-scrolling game. This new one, but they didn't give us much to go off of. It looked nice though.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that they're trying to make look even nicer, Luigi's Mansion 3D Dark Moon is coming to the Switch. New remaster. I really like the 3DS game. So that's cool. Coming to
Sure, but
more
like,
consoles. But why?
no Luigi's Mansion is as good as the original, in my opinion.
True. But
Let's bring back the original first to the Switch, and then let's worry about the 3DS.
Oh, they didn't do that. I'm thinking about the remaster for the 3DS. Yeah, they did. They
You know
did.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought they
First
did
one's
that
still
already.
stuck on the GameCube.
Yeah, and the 3DS. But yeah, that's true.
Sure, yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought they did that already.
And I thought that I was just sitting here seeing Luigi, and I was like, "Oh, they're making a fourth one. Hell yeah!" 'Cause I liked the third one, but but maybe you said this one's good though, Ro.
I really liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, had a good
I
time
never.
with it. I was also freaking 15 years old, but
That's fair.
I had a good time with it.
I think I sold my 3DS before this came out. I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Another thing that's coming to the Switch.
Can't believe it, dude.
The Batman Arkham trilogy is coming this fall. Arkham Knight, Arkham City, and Arkham Asylum come to the Switch.
It's still so funny that they call these games the Arkham trilogy and completely ignore the WB game
Origins.
Arkham Origins. Yeah. Which, to be honest, I remember playing part of Origins and being like, this doesn't feel the same, and I never finished it.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It's literally like Arkham Knight came out in 2015, and Nintendo's just like, yeah, let's bring back this trilogy from 8 years ago or 9 years ago. That's insane.
They finally got it to work.
Yeah.
The next game on our list is Gloomhaven, and I could not tell you what this was. I completely forgot about this one. Looks like a strategy sort of game, card-based. Yeah, I don't think anybody's frothing at the mouth for this one, but it's coming out September 18th, 2023, if you're interested. Just Dance 2024 is also on the way. October 24th, coming to the Switch. 2023 sucked. I bought it for my mom for her birthday. Hopefully they make some much needed adjustments to those fans for Just Dance 2024 because they keep making them, so they're out there.
Ubisoft cashing in.
They are. They really are. Silent Hope.
Smartest thing.
Oh, yeah.
The smartest thing I did with these is make it so you don't have to use a controller. You just use your phone or whatever.
Yeah. That was a plus. I will admit that. Silent Hope is an RPG coming from Xseed, available October 3rd, 2023. I admit this one looked like it would scratch an itch for me. I'm not going to say it's going to be a great game, but I think I will be trying it. Fae Farm. They've shown this game almost every direct. I think it's coming, hopefully. Hot Wheels, so they could stop showing it. But for those who are excited for it, it's coming. Maybe. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 is coming to the Switch. Did we get a release date for that?
That's in August, I believe.
Okay. I'm excited for the kids. I would be all over this.
Hey, I still have the first one. It's such a dumb game, but every now and then it scratches a certain itch for like 30 minutes. When my friends and I are coming down from our little gummy eyes and we just boot up Hot Wheels Unleashed and giggle. Mm-hmm.
Manic Mechanics coming out July 13th. It's one of those, overcooked likes, if for lack of a better term, where you're a mechanic instead of a cook this time, but you're passing the parts over to your teammates, trying not to die, that sort of thing. Multiplayer party game coming July for the 13th.
Here's a banger idea for someone. Maybe I sound like an idiot. Do one of these in like VR, Let me and Dan run a kitchen or a mechanic shop and be like, throw me the wrench.
That's a bad idea.
That sounds fun.
That sounds fun.
Dan,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Dan would fucking
Dan
drop the ball. Yeah. Christian, you threw the fucking wrench. I needed the screwdriver.
I think it sounds. I would love to play something like that.
The second paid DLC for Mario plus Rabbids is out later today. Last Spark Hunter. This also, if we could maybe bring it up now, feeds into one of our questions about new hardware finally coming. Is this possible? There was a little article that came out, I think yesterday or today, where Ubisoft said that they did not heed the advice of Nintendo when they suggested maybe holding off the DLC, or the game itself rather, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, until the next Switch release, maybe hoping that it would do better on a new console as opposed to so late in the generation. Apparently, Yves Gaumont regrets not taking Nintendo up on that offer because apparently it didn't do as well as they hoped. Not a reflection on the game. Apparently, it's a really good game, but it just didn't do as well as they hoped. But this obviously sparked another conversation as, is there a new console coming? Is it soon? If Nintendo's suggesting holding off on a game that's complete.
This is the only time I'm going to agree with Ease. The only time is like when that game came out. What, last year? Right, late last year. That was maybe like fall 2022 game. And like, come on, there's still no. Maybe if there was already a new Switch announced and we knew like it was coming by the end of this year or this summer, then maybe Nintendo would have. But like, come on, like you want him to hold off on a game like this for what, almost 2 years? I think that sounds like a bit too much, personally. Yeah, is it coming next year? Maybe it's seeming likely, right? To have Nintendo try to hold off Ease probably next year. But again, having him hold off a game for that long, I think they got to make their money back somehow. Holding it for 2 years is not going to do that.
Yeah, and Ubisoft is struggling with their franchises as it is. So this is a successful franchise. I'm sure they're like, yeah, we want to make more of these. They probably want to make 6 more of these.
They'll probably work on a third one to release, launch year or within a year of the new Switch.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Can't wait for a new Nintendo hardware.
Yeah.
Moving back to the Nintendo Direct, we got Dragon Quest Monsters for all you Dragon Quest nerds out there. It's like Pokemon but Dragon Quest. And it comes
That's
December 1st, 2023. Yeah. Another look at Pikmin 4, where, you guessed it, you can now hunt at night. They advertised that like it was a big deal, and I shouldn't be talking shit because I like Animal Crossing. Anyways.
Animal Crossing is fucking great, all right? And
Animal Crossing is
I'm
great,
sure
but I
Pikmin
lost
is
my shit.
too, but
Yeah. No, I was saying like Animal Crossing is great, but I just don't. I shouldn't yuck anybody's yums because out when they announce, oh, you're going to be able to grow pumpkins in Animal Crossing now. Like that's a big deal, and it was for me.
That was, yeah. No, yeah. When I logged on and I found like, oh, I can cook all these different recipes. This is a game changer.
Exactly. So maybe this nighttime thing is a game changer too. But Pikmin, I never tried it. Maybe it is a type of game that I like, and maybe I can try it with the 2 Pikmin games that are coming to the Switch, the original GameCube games 1 and 2. But
not just that, Roy, you can try out the new one.
Right. Yes. The demo is also available June 28th, just a few days away. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, Volume 1.
Did you hear that?
Zing! Oh.
Nice.
There it is. It's on the way. It's coming to the Switch. And it includes Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And there's also another, it also includes the NES Metal Gear games, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I think, Christian, there was a release, yes, October 24th is when these
2
are
days
coming.
before my birthday, so Scorpio
Ooh.
season for us Metal Gear fans.
Oh, yeah.
And
Very excited. I think the whole collection comes with a lot of stuff. You're getting like digital,
Yes.
a lot of digital stuff, like
Strategy
soundtracks
guide.
and art. Yeah, so you're getting a lot with this collection. I'm surprised at how dense this is becoming. They didn't have to do all this, but I actually really appreciate that they did.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it's Konami, you never really know what you're going to get. So I am also pleasantly surprised that they went the extra mile with those little extra tidbits there.
2 things to note. Metal Gear Solid 1 it's not the release version. It's a newer release. It's not I think Twin Snakes version. It's a different one has slightly better graphics than the original PlayStation 1 game. And then 2 and 3 are confirmed that they are the HD collection versions of those games, which I think released during the PS3 360 era.
Nice.
And those do not include certain parts of cutscenes that they had to remove due to licensing issues. And it's live action footage of which I really like. Metal Gear Solid 1, when I play that, like has all the live action of like the Pentagon and like the like actual military usage of missiles and stuff, and actually reinforces the cutscenes really well. So you'll be missing stuff like that in 2 and 3 if you so choose to play it this way.
Gotcha.
what about
I'm really excited.
What about the
Okay.
possible Volume 2, Christian?
Yeah, man. Where did I send that at? Hold on.
Oh.
Is that in? Yeah. So that on the website, on Konami's website, you can see the timeline of Metal Gear Solid, just all of the games, and the way this is structured, I guess, and people might be reading into this. We actually don't know for sure. There's a little bit of speculation that it seems like if this timeline is accurate, it seems like Volume 2 would include Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, which would be huge because that game has been stuck on the PS3 for so long. Quick aside, there was at one point it was going to come to Xbox. However, they couldn't get the audio. The audio was uncompressed. Just because of the way Kojima and Konami did it on the PlayStation, that like it would take a long time to port over and a lot of data to port over to Xbox. So that's why they just had trouble doing it, and they just never did it. So this would be huge. So yeah, MGS4, MGS Peace Walker, the mobile, the PSP game. Excuse me, and then also Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
Oh yeah. I, for one, am very excited to dive into these games for the first time. I played Phantom Pain on the PS4. Didn't beat it, but that opening, man, real cool. Real cool.
Ground Zeroes or just Phantom Pain?
Number 5, Phantom Pain, right?
So you didn't play Ground Zeroes?
No, I did not. No, that was the only Metal Gear game that I've ever played with 5. Got pretty deep into it, but of course, it was the 5th game, and I hadn't played any of the other ones, so a little bit confused. The 5th, right? Yeah, there's a lot of subtitled games that aren't numbered, I guess. But,
Ground Zeroes, that was like the short one that like people attributed it to like a demo essentially, but you had to pay.
And it was, yeah. It was like $30, which I think was a bit too steep, to be honest. Like I think they were even back then. I was like, they're overcharging for the length of this experience, and they did it to get used to, for players to get used to the new formula of gameplay, because it was a brand new style of game for it, which makes sense, and it also sets up the story really well for when you get to the end of Phantom Pain and like Ground Zeroes get put into context. So it worked thematically and narratively, but fiscally for players, it's like, then $30, and then you got to pay $60 for the Phantom Pain. It's almost $100. Kind of a
lot. Game of the year for some people: Vampire Survivors coming to Switch, 4-player co-op, local co-op, out August 17th.
Damn, local co-op, man. I don't have all these friends IRL who are coming over.
Yeah, they don't live in my house, please.
Yeah.
Next game, Headbangers Rhythm Royale, out October 31st. The first ever, well, I don't know if that's true, but the first ever Rhythm Royale game. It might be true. But it's a battle royale, but you're playing little rhythm mini games. I thought it's like Fall Guys, but instead of, Fall Guys, it's rhythm games. Looks kind of cool, I guess. October 31st, 2023, if you were interested in that. This one was a highlight for me. Penny's Big Breakaway, a 3D platformer by the creators of Sonic Mania. It looks beautiful. The art style looks awesome. And I'm always down for a new 3D platformer. This comes out early 2024. Gotta wait, but it looks awesome.
The physics of this, like momentum based with the yo-yo, I think are particularly very cool. I think this reminded me a lot of like, obviously it's inspiration from Sonic when you're spinning around like the tracks and you're collecting the rings. It seems very Sonic-esque, but when you're actually like platforming and fighting against players, I was actually reminded of Odyssey as well. It's like, okay, this is going to be pretty big for these 3D platform freaks, which, was my bread and butter growing up. So will I get into this? I don't know, but I like it on my horizon.
Definitely added to the wish list. Mario Kart DLC has also got some new characters, including Petey the Piranha, Wiggler from Mario Kart 7, and Kamek from Mario Kart Tour. Available summer 2023. This is Wave 5.
Yeah, the booster course, man.
Yeah, good for them. I want a Mario Kart 9, but I'm so glad that they did this. They didn't have to.
This is almost becoming Mario Kart Ultimate.
Yeah. For real.
That basically is, man.
Yeah.
The next game, Star Ocean, the second story, are a remake of the original Star Ocean game. Is getting a 2D HD remaster or remake, I guess I should say, and it looks beautiful. I want to play this game. I have no attachment to Star Ocean, but everything I saw, I'm like, yeah, this is speaking to me. I want to play this. The battling system isn't even turn-based. It's like a pixel real-time action, which is so cool. But this comes out November 2nd, 2023. A new WarioWare game is on the way November 3rd on the heels of Everybody Wants You Switch, which okay. But
Yeah, dude.
I don't know why they did why they released the Everybody Wants You Switch thing, but it's because they probably made it and they want to make money. But yeah, this looks cool. WarioWare, everybody loves WarioWare. This one's called WarioWare
I
Move It.
too. But I haven't bought a WarioWare in years, man. Since
Yeah.
the Wii one, I think. So
It's one of those things that I know is good, and I enjoy when I get the chance to play it with other people. But it's playing with other people that holds me back from buying these things. It's like Mario Party. I never buy a Mario because my family
Yeah.
doesn't play those games, but I love them growing up.
I still buy them. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
But WarioWare people, happy feast. Nintendo Live 2023 in Seattle includes games, performances, photo ops, and more. I want to go to this. I can't. Zelda and
Sure.
Ganondorf. Oh yeah, maybe I'll make the trek. September 3rd, if my papers come. Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo coming this holiday. They look awesome. Well, they look good, but I'm glad they're making more.
Zelda.
And oh yeah,
Sorry, I just want to add this real quick. Am I a bad
Mhm.
person for buying a pack of amiibo cards today on Amazon for
Yes.
for Zelda?
To resell?
No, for Zelda.
to get like the
Well,
treasure chest and stuff like
To
that.
get a whole bunch of stuff because apparently like you get a bunch of items, which I have some amiibo, but I'm like it would be awesome just to have a stack of cards that I could just scan them. And so yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I may
didn't-
have did that.
Cards,
such a
though.
cheat, dude. You're such a cheater, man. Pay to win. Fucker over here, dude.
How dare you.
I keep running out of arrows, okay? I buy up all
Buy
the
them.
shops. I buy up all the shops and I fucking use every single one of them, you know?
I'm at like 200. Thank God I don't have that problem anymore. I was because I'm with you. Pretty early game, I was like running like, oh, I have like 2 left.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, 80. I guess I should stock up on a few more. Just gotta keep playing, Dan.
I will.
And the big headliner here, this new 2D Mario game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Daisy is playable. October 20th, 2023. And Mario turns into an elephant at the end. Looks pretty cool.
You're bearing the lead here. You're bearing some big leads here.
I
The
think
first is
Daisy
that,
being playable is the lead, Christian.
the
With all
first
due
is that it's a 2D game.
Yes. I did say that, but yes.
Oh, I didn't. You did?
It's okay.
Oh, my bad. Then I
Yeah.
apologize. All right, then the first one then is that we're finally no longer in the new Super Mario Bros. Art style. Thank God. I hated. For whatever reason I hated those games.
Oh,
Detested them.
was it because of the art
That-
style or
All of it. All of it.
everything?
Everything. So when I saw this, I was like, wait, a new 2D game, and I was like, is in the style new? And then I saw like almost chunky like Mario 64 era Mario, and I'm like, no, this is different. And I played the trailer, and I'm like, this is real different. This is like Yoshi's Island when you touch the fuzzy get woozy level, when you're like, you're like almost like, you know what I'm talking about? Dan Smile, but you know what I'm talking about? When you like the LSD levels in Yoshi's
Yeah.
Island? This is just like that, but for the whole game. It's just super trippy. This looks great.
I agree. I think it looks awesome. I agree. The art style looks really cool, and the little abilities. Sorry, the little abilities that you can get when you. I don't know what they're called. The whatever changes the world that activates those LSD trips, where there's a moment where Mario becomes like a freaking giraffe from the torso up, and he just like stretches and squishes up and down.
They called him BBC Mario on Twitter.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Just letting you know.
Jesus. Thank you. Should have led with that. That's the lead there.
The animations look really cool too. I like how like unique they are compared to other Mario stuff. Like it definitely has an added flair to them. It's
Yes. A lot of personality.
yeah.
And there's like voice acting
Mm.
in a Mario game.
How do,
The flower.
how do you guys feel about the text on the screen, like saying "great" and "super" and all that? I'm not really huge on that part of it, but the rest of it,
It's not too big of a distractor from me. It's already enough of like there's already a lot going on, but it's not enough to distract from the actual like platforming of the. Hey, maybe it'll feel different when I'm actually playing the game as opposed to just watching a YouTube video. So who knows, Dan?
Fair.
I like it because it reminds me of 3D worlds, like the competitive aspect of playing with your friends, where you're trying to get the crown. And I feel like it might be another level of that, where you're trying to get excellent, and there might be a score at the end, like who did the best when you're playing with your family and stuff. That could be cool. Obviously, they could have done it better for those who didn't like it, but I think it's a good sign for how fun the game might be.
And a little bit of a made me giggle a little bit when they teased the elephant bit, like the flower was talking but Mario interrupted him.
Yeah, that could be cool to play around with as well. There might be some instances where you can interrupt him and just some real time stuff that might be fun.
It's co-op as well. I doubt it's multiplayer. Sorry, online.
Mm-hmm. They tried that before; it didn't work very well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Dan, were you going to say something?
So the Mario movie sequel, is it going to have an elephant power up?
One can only hope. One can only hope. And that is
There's
wrap.
an issue. No. The issue is, for all of us gamers in October who are looking forward to playing a lot of games, we have 4 games coming out, technically more, in the span of a week. The 4th game out is a toss-up. That's 24th. That's October 24th. That's Metal Gear Solid Collection, which includes multiple games. That's gonna be, that's my November, December is probably gonna be MGS Collection. For the rest of the year, I'm fucking off and playing that. But the week of October, what is it, like 18th through the 20th? Sorry, 15th to the 20th, something like that.
Yeah.
17th is Tuesday. So yeah, that week, starting that Tuesday to the 20th, you have 3 games. You have Alan Wake 2 on that Tuesday. You have Super Mario Brothers Wonder on that Friday, and Spider-Man 2 on that Friday.
No,
so everyone's gonna have to make decisions on what they're playing.
Oh.
And then we can all 3 of us pick one game to play that week, and we come back with our thoughts.
Oh, that's
Damn.
so hard.
I think I could beat Mario pretty quick, and then switch to Spider-Man maybe. Hopefully. God.
Mario might be a great game to like right before bed, knock out a few levels, and then
Yeah,
That's true.
then
it's true. Handheld Switch, best way to play.
Yes.
I almost did that last night, and then I went to bed instead. I was like, I could take my Tears of the Kingdom into bed with me and just lay there in the dark.
That's how That's how I've played 99% of it in my bed.
So
The other
all 3
1%.
hours.
Bitch, go look at my profile right now. Go look at my profile right now. I've got.
I think I
more than
will.
that. Yeah,
God damn.
freaking 3 hours. Get out of here.
Wonder how much Ro has in TOTK.
God, how much do I? I think I'm close to you. I think
You
I'm
had-
like 90, 100.
Yeah,
maybe.
you had a lot, Ro, when I last saw. And it's been a
God.
bit since I. Yeah.
All right, I'm almost at 90. I know that. Let's see. Roshan played 100 hours or more, so I'm catching
Woo!
up to you.
Catching up.
You played this more than Breath of the Wild, by the way.
I know.
Tears of the
Yeah.
Yeah. And now let's see. I'm not friends with Dan.
Oh.
I'm kidding. You were last online a week ago. 30 hours. All right.
Thank
give you.
you.
That. We'll give it to you.
Okay.
We'll give
Thank
it to
you. I appreciate it.
Had the 0. And that is a wrap on the Nintendo Direct. Anything else before we close out the show? What did you guys think overall, by the way, of the Nintendo? Was it a positive experience?
I'm glad I didn't watch live.
There we go.
I thought it was
Damn.
a good show. I mean, nothing crazy for me, but there was some good stuff in there.
Fair. Yeah, this is definitely one that I probably could have caught the highlights for, but I'm glad I watched it live so I could react to the Mario 2D thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and there's some tidbits in there that surprises for me as well. But that's it. That's a wrap on 196. Thank you again for everyone joining us live on YouTube and on Twitch as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcast. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Kirok. Thank you, anybody else who may be listening and watching. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Dan. Much love. And later will be greater. I almost stole Dan's line. I can't do that.
And keep on gaming.
Wow.